Hey everyone, get ready to dive into some seriously weird and wonderful territory today. Because we're talking about dream realities, like what if dreams aren't just fantasies, but windows into different levels of reality? And to make sense of all this, we'll be exploring a dream realities tier list, ranking dream experiences from the kind of, okay, that makes sense, to the, hold on, is this real life kind of stuff.
I think what's so fascinating with that tier list is it tries to make sense of these incredibly diverse dream experiences, right?
Yeah.
By arranging them in a way that really sparks curiosity and makes you question, like, what even is reality,
Yeah, it's like taking all this bizarre and exhilarating and sometimes just downright confusing things about dreaming and then trying to organize them in a way that suggests that maybe, just maybe, there's more to those nighttime journeys than meets the eye.
It's important to note, that this tier list is based on a blend of like scientific understanding, a little bit of philosophical pondering, and definitely a healthy dose of what if. We're going to try to, ground our exploration in what we actually know about the brain and consciousness, but we're also going to stay open to the mysteries that, we just haven't quite figured out yet.
Exactly. So we're talking about the different levels of reality your dreams might be tapping into. And we'll start with a tier that's, well, surprisingly grounded in science, a place where things get a little less woo-woo and a little more, wow, our brains are capable of that, kind of. Get ready to unlock the potential of the lucid dreaming realm.
Yes, the lucid dreaming realm, where, you can become the director of your own dreams. Just imagine having the ability to know you're dreaming while you're in the dream, and then actually influencing what happens next.
Okay, that sounds like something straight out of Inception. But you're telling me this is an actual thing people can learn to do.
It is. And get this, it's not just some mystical, woo-woo ability. We actually see measurable changes in brain activity during lucid dreaming. Specifically, there's increased activity in areas of the brain associated with like self-awareness, critical thinking, and even voluntary motor control.
So while the rest of our brain is basically snoozing, these areas are like, hold on, we're aware, we're dreaming, let's see what we can do with this.
Precisely. And there was this really fascinating study, I believe it was at the University of Heidelberg, where researchers were actually able to communicate with lucid dreamers. They asked them to answer like yes or no questions by moving their eyes in specific patterns. And guess what? The dreamers could respond with like incredible accuracy. It showed a level of conscious control within the dream state that we never thought possible.
That's incredible. It makes you wonder, what are the possibilities with that? I mean, do you want to practice that speech you've been dreading? Need to have a difficult conversation. Lucid dreaming could be like a mental training ground for real life.
Right. And it's not just about like personal growth or skill building. Some therapists are looking into the potential of lucid dreaming as a way to help people confront their nightmares, their phobias, but in a safe and controlled environment. Imagine taking your worst fear and using lucid dreaming to, rewrite the script.
Now that we've established that we might be able to direct our dreams, what if I told you that our dreams could also be tapping into something way, way bigger than ourselves? Buckle up, because we're heading into the intriguing realm of the collective unconscious.
Ooh, yes, the collective unconscious. This is where things get really interesting, because we're moving beyond the individual dreaming mind and into a realm of like shared symbols, shared archetypes, and maybe even a universal consciousness.
Hold on, are we talking about the idea that like we're all connected through our dreams? That deep down there's this shared dream space where our minds are linked?
You're getting warmer. This concept was famously explored by, Carl Jung. He believed in a layer of the unconscious mind that we all share. It's like this vast interconnected network of like primordial images, instincts, and patterns of behavior. He called this the collective unconscious.
So instead of picturing our individual unconscious minds, imagine something more like this giant, a cosmic library filled with these archetypal figures, myths, and symbols that have resonated with humans, like across cultures and throughout history, right? That's the collective unconscious.
Yeah, that's a great way to visualize it. Think about the characters that constantly appear in myths and stories all over the world, like the hero, the wise old man or woman, the trickster. Jung believed these archetypes are like expressions of the collective unconscious, bubbling up into our individual psyches. They're like universal templates for human experience.
So when I have a dream about, let's say, a wise old woman offering me guidance, even though I've never actually met anyone like that in real life, it's possible that my mind is somehow tapping into this collective well of archetypes.
Exactly. Or let's say, you have a dream about like a shadowy figure that represents your fears or your repressed emotions. This could be the archetype of the shadow, which is a universal symbol for the darker parts of the human psyche, something that Jung believed we all have within us.
Wow. That actually makes a lot of sense. Some of my most vivid dreams have involved those kinds of, those symbolic figures that I couldn't quite place. It's like they came from somewhere so ancient and familiar, even though I'd never consciously encountered them before.
Right. That's the beauty of the collective unconscious. It suggests that our dreams might be drawing on this shared well of human experience, anxieties, aspirations, all of it.
Okay, so we've explored the possibility of, actually controlling our dreams and then maybe even tapping into this universal network of consciousness. So where do we go from here?
Hold on to your hats, because we're about to take a giant leap into the mind-bending realm of parallel life dreams. Buckle up, because this is where things get really meta.
All right, I am here for this. We're talking about the what ifs of dream realities, right? Like, what if our dreams aren't just fantasies, but like actual glimpses into alternate realities where different versions of us made different choices?
Precisely. Imagine a multiverse of possibilities, branching out with every decision, every turning point in life. What if, when you dream, you're not just making stuff up, but actually catching glimpses of those alternate timelines?
So instead of sliding doors, it's more like sliding dreams.
Yeah.
In one reality, I'm hosting this incredible podcast, but in another, I'm like, living a quiet life as a baker in the French countryside.
Exactly. And what's so interesting? People who have these types of dreams often say they're incredibly vivid and detailed. They remember specific locations, recurring characters, even whole alternate histories that feel just as real, just as lived in as their waking lives.
It's like their minds are piecing together these whole other realities, complete with their own rules, relationships, possibilities, all of it.
And it makes you wonder, what if those ultimate versions of ourselves are really out there somewhere, dreaming their own realities, maybe even catching glimpses of us?
My mind is officially blown. That takes the concept of living your best life to a whole new level. Imagine having access to an infinite number of yous, all experiencing different paths, different possibilities.
And it makes you wonder, if we could somehow connect with those other selves, learn from their experiences, their choices. It's a mind-blowing thought.
It really is. Imagine having a conversation with another version of yourself who took a totally different path in life.
Mm-hmm.
What would they think? What advice would they give?
It makes you question everything, What if some of those paths are actually playing out somewhere in the vast expanse of the multiverse? And what happens when those dreams, those potential realities, start to feel less like fantasies and more like, premonitions?
Okay, yeah, we can't talk about a dream realities tier list without mentioning the tier that kind of sends shivers down your spine, right?
Right.
The prophetic dreamscape.
Right. We're talking about precognitive dreams, those eerie instances where it's like the future is bleeding through into your sleeping mind, giving you a glimpse of what's to come.
It's happened to me, definitely. Those dreams that are so specific, so vivid, you wake up and you're like, whoa, that felt way too real. And then boom, something happens in your life that lines up perfectly. It's freaky. But then again, how do you even tell the difference between a truly prophetic dream and just a weird coincidence?
It's tricky, right? This is where science tends to walk on eggshells a little bit, because while we have a ton of anecdotal evidence actually proving precognitions scientifically, it's tough.
Because how do you even design an experiment to test whether someone can accurately dream about the future?
Exactly. There are just so many variables, right? How do you rule out chance? Or the possibility that our brains are just really, really good at finding patterns, even when they're not really there. But even with that lack of hard scientific proof, there are so many reported cases of precognitive dreams across cultures throughout history. It kind of makes you wonder if there's something more to it.
With one part of your brain wants to brush it off as coincidence, you know? And then another part's but what if it's not? What if our minds are capable of tapping into something beyond our current understanding of time and perception?
And that's what I find so intriguing about precognitive dreams. They force us to confront the boundaries of our current understanding of reality, suggesting that maybe, just maybe, there's more to it than meets the eye.
Okay, so we've talked about controlling our dreams, maybe tapping into a shared consciousness, even glimpsing into alternate realities. But things are about to get even weirder. Prepare yourself for the S-Tier, the astral projection dimension.
This is where we step into the realm of, those out-of-body experiences, that feeling of your consciousness actually leaving your physical form and going off on his own little adventure. Have you ever experienced that in a dream?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I've had dreams where I'm looking down at myself from above. It's wild. but honestly, it's always felt more symbolic than, an actual out-of-body experience, like a representation of feeling detached or something.
And that's the thing about this tier. It pushes the boundaries of what we consider to be real, right? Astral projection or astral travel is this idea that our conscious awareness isn't actually bound to our physical body. Like our consciousness is a separate entity that can detach and travel to other realms, maybe even communicate with other beings, all while our body is sound asleep.
So it's like our souls are going on little field trips while our bodies are catching Z's.
In a way, yeah. And the descriptions of these experiences are often incredibly detailed. People describe this feeling of floating above their body, traveling to distant places, sometimes even encountering other beings or entities.
Okay, I can see why this tier is rated S. It's definitely on the fringes of what most people would consider possible. But even if it's all just happening in our minds, you have to admit, it's pretty amazing that our brains can even create these experiences,
Right. It speaks to the incredible power and potential of human consciousness. And who knows, maybe there are dimensions of reality out there that we're only just beginning to glimpse, dimensions where consciousness can exist and interact without the need for a physical body. But let's come back down to Earth for a moment and explore another fascinating aspect of dream realities, the way that time seems to bend and warp within our dreams. We call this the broken tier, the dream as alternate time reality.
Yeah, this is where things get really trippy, right? Because we're talking about those dreams where time just doesn't behave the way it does in our waking lives. Like that feeling of waking up from a dream that felt like it lasted for days, maybe even weeks, but only a few minutes have passed in the real world.
Exactly. Or how about those dreams where you seamlessly transition from a childhood memory to a future scenario, and it all feels oddly connected, like past, present, and future are all happening at once? Have you ever experienced that?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
It's almost like while your body's asleep, your brain is saying, hold my coffee, I'm about to go on a wild ride through space-time.
It really does. And that's the essence of the broken tier. It's the idea that dreams can unfold in realms where time is fluid, where minutes can stretch into years, and whole lifetimes can flash by in an instant. It's as if our dreams are tapping into dimensions where the rules of time, as we understand them, simply don't apply.
It's like those dreams where you find yourself having full-on conversations with people you haven't seen in years, maybe even decades, and it feels like no time has passed at all. It's both comforting and disorienting at the same time.
And it raises some pretty mind-boggling questions, right? Like, what if those alternate time realities aren't just figments of our imaginations? What if they're glimpses into timelines that exist parallel to our own, where different possibilities are playing out at their own unique pace? But hold on to your hats, because we've got one more tier to explore, a tier so mind-blowing, so reality-bending, that it makes everything we've talked about so far seem almost tame in comparison.
Okay, you've definitely got my attention. Lay it on me. What's the Beyond Broken tier all about? Are we going full-on Matrix here? Like, what if reality itself is a dream?
You got it. This is where we dive into the deep end of philosophical pondering. This tier, the Beyond Broken tier, takes the concept of dreaming to, its ultimate extreme, It suggests that everything, and I mean everything we experience, our thoughts, our emotions, our relationships, this physical world around us, all of it might actually be part of one elaborate, incredibly intricate, totally immersive dreamscape.
So basically, all those times I've woken up from a super vivid dream and been like, wait, am I actually still asleep? Maybe, just maybe. There's a reason I felt that way.
It's a possibility, right? This isn't exactly a new idea. You can find hints of this concept throughout history, like ancient philosophical texts, spiritual traditions, you name it. Think about the Hindu concept of Maya, this illusion that prevents us from seeing the true nature of reality,
Yeah, okay, yeah, I've heard of that.
Or how about that story of the Chinese philosopher Zhuangzi? He wakes up from this dream where he's a butterfly, and he can't decide, was he a man dreaming he was a butterfly, or a butterfly dreaming he was a man?
Oh, right, yeah, it's like a philosophical riddle, kind of.
Exactly. And that's what this Beyond Broken tier really makes us question. What if our understanding of reality is just, way too limited? What if what we think is so solid, so real, is really just a projection of consciousness?
Okay, hold on. I need a minute to wrap my head around this.
Yeah.
So we're talking about the possibility that we're all living in a giant collective dream.
Think of it this way. Instead of each of us having our own little dream bubbles, it's more like we're all contributing to one giant shared dream that we call, reality.
I'm not gonna lie, that's both amazing and a little terrifying to think about.
Right. And then the question becomes, if reality is a dream, then who or what is doing the dreaming? Is it all of us collectively somehow weaving this tapestry of experience with our thoughts and beliefs.
It's like we're all co-creating reality,
Yeah.
except, no one told us the rules of the game.
Right. Or maybe, as some theories propose, it's not us doing the dreaming exactly, but a single universal consciousness. Like, imagine a cosmic dreamer projecting this reality into being.
Okay, my brain is officially in overdrive trying to picture that. It's like, I don't know, a giant cosmic movie projector casting the film of reality onto the screen of our perception. But if that's the case, why even dream up a reality at all?
Right. Why not just eternal bliss or, whatever the cosmic equivalent of Netflix and chill is? That's the million-dollar question. Some theories propose that it's all a form of cosmic play, a way for the universe to experience itself in infinite forms of variations.
So reality is cosmic improv.
In a way, others believe it's more like this grand experiment, a way for consciousness to learn and grow and evolve through every experience, good and bad.
That's actually kind of a beautiful thought. It makes you realize that maybe those difficult, painful, messy parts of life are all part of something bigger, something meaningful.
Exactly. And it makes you wonder, what role do our individual dreams play in all of this? Are they just random firings of neurons? Or could they be glimpses into the inner workings of this grand cosmic dream, offering clues about its nature and purpose?
Wow. We started with lucid dreaming, and now we're questioning the very fabric of reality. This Dream Realities tier list really took us on a journey.
As they say, the more you know, the more you realize you don't know.
So true. This whole deep dive has definitely given me a lot to think about, especially next time I find myself drifting off to sleep.
Me too. It makes you realize that dreams, as wild and strange and wonderful as they can be, might actually be telling us something profound about ourselves and the universe we inhabit.
Absolutely. And to all our listeners out there, keep exploring those dreams, keep asking those big questions, and who knows what incredible insights you might uncover. Thanks for joining us for this mind-bending exploration of the Dream Realities tier list. Until next time, sweet dreams.